You alright? I've got to show anyone who is interested in this. Momarangi Bay, it's called. The Marlborough Sound, South Island of New Zealand.
You couldn't even catch me when I was going that fast, could you?
Whoa, Cookie, say hello.
Hello! Where are we?
Look at that Terry Wogan with this. Hello, this is Steve reporting for the BBC.
Who's to say we had our fun? We never answered to anyone. Turning back what's been done. It's a long year. It's a long year. And I'm staying right here.
On the next part of our journey across New Zealand, we arrived at Picton Harbour on the South Island. Picton is a small harbour town which serves as part of the ferry link between the North and South Island. It was about 11 o'clock at night when we arrived and the town was in darkness. Luckily, we had booked a bed for the night at Atlantis Backpackers. The only problem was we had to knock on all the doors and windows as it appeared everyone had gone to bed. Eventually, a very eccentric American lady let us in and showed us to our room. The bedroom was comfortable enough, but the rest of the hostel looked like it had been decorated by some 70s hippies using leftover paint and paper. It was quirky, however, it was clean and comfortable. So the next morning we woke up in Picton. The weather was beautiful and the view on the seafront was wonderful. Once we had breakfast, we decided to jump in the car and find somewhere beautiful in the Marlborough Sounds area to pitch our tent for a few days.
You alright? I've got to show anyone who is interested in this. Momarangi Bay, it's called. The Marlborough Sound, South Island of New Zealand. So we've rocked up on this cove here. And there's like orca whales. In fact, you see them fish swimming there? There's fish jumping out of the water. Probably didn't get that on camera, but you can definitely do it. Fish jumping out of the water and all sorts of weird stuff around here. Birds called wacka-wackas and possums all in the trees, although they're kind of probably asleep at this time of day. Like I said, there's dolphins, orca whales out there, and we're heading in with like what looks to me like a broccoli explosion or something. All the trees and the mountains. See all that there? Look just there in the distance, but you can just about make out our, look where I'm pointing my bottle. That's our green tent there. So yeah, what a spot. What a spot.
This is our tent here. And this is
heard there was a really great view from the top of the Onhuau lookout. So after a good night's sleep in the tent, we went in search of the trailhead. Eventually we found a small car park with a sign and a map to mark the start of the trail. So we tied up the laces on our walking boots and started the ascent.
Hi guys, so we're here at the Onhuau lookout. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but hey, absolutely strenuous walk. The hardest walk in the world, but it's absolutely beautiful at the top, and yeah, just take a look.
The views from the top were absolutely amazing. All you could see was miles of coastline, hills and forest. It was well worth the hike up there.
As our time on Mongarangi Bay came to an end, we ate our last meal and shared a bottle of wine. Meanwhile, the sun was setting behind us. It was a lovely way to end our time there.
The following morning it was time to leave the Marlborough Sound and continue our journey heading south towards Graham. As we began the drive, the sky started to turn grey and the weather slowly started to deteriorate. Okay, we're on our way up to the west coast of the South Island. Drive over's absolutely breathtaking. It's all forest, rivers, and you can tell they're probably teeming with trout and salmon and stuff like that. Lots of game fishing going on in this area. I just thought I'd stop on this beautiful little overlook here just for a quick breather. So yeah, I'll see you over in Graham. Gemma's asleep in the car. She's good at that though.
Good tip.
As we headed even further down the road, the heavy rain started. It was clear there was a big storm on its way. Despite this, we still really enjoyed the drive and was getting ever closer to our goal of heading further down the south of the island.
Hi guys, so we're at Pancake Rocks today near Greymouth. Lovely and beautiful. Lots of ferns here, which is Stephen's favourite plant.
Right, so at least explain what Pancake Rocks is.
Like rocks.
She doesn't know.
The rocks that look like pancakes. But they've naturally been built that way, they've not been handmade. We'll show you.
Over the hills and far from mine, she's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side.
Right, let me just say one thing. I never climb behind any barriers. That's you. Hey Doc, what are these barrier rails for? Like, I can just step over, right? I suggest you read the small print first. Are you prepared to dive and fall over the edge of a cliff, drown in the sea below, risk the lives of rescuers, be severely injured?
You should do all of them if there was a good connection involved.
Ignore him. Visitors have fallen to their death by going behind the barriers at this site. Don't
told if you're ever going to visit this area.
She's waiting for love to be realized. Send her the heart covered as a gift, and how about you take it into yourself?
Yeah, we're spoiling the video.
Later that night, the storm that was bearing down on us got much worse, finishing with incredible displays of lightning and tons of rain. Hi guys! So, we've had a bit of a dilemma this morning. We've woke up in Greymouth ready to set off to Fox Glacier. Unfortunately, the roads have been damaged by the storm that we've had for 2 days. So we can't head that way, which means now we're going to have to take a different route up to Christchurch and then head down to Queenstown because we need to be there to catch our flight to Sydney by the end of the week.
So it's basically turned a 2-hour drive into potentially a 10-hour drive, having to go all the way around the glaciers of Mount Cook, and yeah, so okay, it's cool. Might put a different twist on things.
But we're very excited to see a different part of New Zealand that we've not quite seen yet, and maybe there might even be somewhere we can pull over and cook our Irish stew. We'll keep you updated.
So the original plan was to head south on the west coast, just a straight easy run down, where we would head to Fox Glacier and then on to Queenstown. Instead we had to detour up and round via Christchurch and then continue heading south, taking us past Mount Cook and on the other side of the glacial range.
Even though we had a really long drive in front of us, our spirits were still upbeat and we were very much enjoying every minute of our adventure. It got to the point where we had done enough driving for one day and we started to feel tired. We had to try and find somewhere to stay for the night. Stephen had noticed a little town on the map called Geraldine. As this was the name of one of his favourite aunties, we decided this was a good omen. As Stephen drove, I started to Google accommodation for the night. We eventually found some suitable accommodation called the Geraldine Heritage Hotel. The hotel had a nice bar and we decided after a long day to sink a few beers and unwind. When we got to the bar we met lots of lovely locals and we had a few drinks, played pool, sang on the karaoke and had a lock-in. It was by far one of the best nights.
Cookie, say hello.
Hello! Where are we? Going home? Hi home. I like Coro. Fucking guys rock. Keep up with the Stonehenge shit, mate.
Okay, so after the fiasco with the road being shut on the west coast, we had to do the massive detour. We drove as far as we could south and ended up staying in a little town called Geraldine, which was quite interesting. We had a play around, you know, the town and had a few beers with the locals and got a lock-in and all that carry on, which which was fun. But now we are on our way to Mount Cook for a walk on the Hooker Valley track. Should be fun. As we started gaining altitude and got closer to the Alps, the environment started to change. It wasn't long before we started driving into the snow line. Finally, we drove into the Mount Cook National Park. The scenery just got more dramatic. It wasn't long before we got our first view of Mount Cook on the opposite side of the lake, towering above the clouds.
Mount Cook is the highest mountain in New Zealand. Its height, as of 2014, is listed as 3,724 metres above sea level. The mountain range runs the length of the South Island. It is a popular tourist destination, and it is also a favourite challenge for mountain climbers, and they visit from all around the world. Most notably, it is well documented that Kiwi-born Sir Edmund Hillary did most of his preparation on Mount Cook before becoming the first man to summit Mount Everest in 1953.
Hi everyone, so we're here today at Mount Cook on the Hooker track. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see all the mountains behind us. We're just doing a short walk, not too long, all flat, just through the valley. Stopping, taking photos. It's a definitely place to be recommended if you do come to New Zealand. Catch you in a bit.
By the scenery at Mount Cook, we are heading over to the adventure sports capital of the world, Queenstown.
So we arrived in Queenstown and checked into a cheap and cheerful backpackers hostel called the Bumbles. Our first impressions of the town are that it is stunning. It has a mountainous backdrop and a beautiful lake surrounding it. The town is very vibrant, with plenty of bars and restaurants, which attracts tourists from all over the world. Queenstown also has a large handful of adventure sports tour agents. They can organise sports such as bungee jumping, jet boat riding, skiing, mountain bike riding, hiking, paragliding. The list is endless. So with no further ado, we booked on the Shotover jet boat, which takes you hurtling through the canyons and the creeks of the Queenstown backcountry.
journey through New Zealand, lots of people have recommended that when we get to Queenstown, we should definitely visit Ferg Burger, which claims to be the best burger place in the whole world.
Here we are in Ferg Burger, apparently the best burger in the world, and the queue goes all the way down the street, so we've been here a while queuing, so it better bloody have been.
Okay, so I don't know about the best burger in the world, but certainly the best one I have ever tasted. It was fantastic, lovely. What do you think, Gemma?
It's alright.
All right.
After our burger, which I must admit was absolutely amazing, we are heading up to the mountainside. The New Zealanders call it Ben Lomond. The plan is to have a go on one of Queenstown's must-do activities, the luge.
faster
What
that
did you think
time,
of that?
didn't I? Did I go faster?
You did, yeah.